Looked in wife's phone 40 male and 38 female. My 40 male and wife 38 female have been together for 20 years. The other night she went out for a friend's birthday and told me a group of guys approached them, which is understandable because she is beautiful. She told me nothing really happened and she told them she was married and that was it. The next morning I woke up before she did and I let my mind get the best of me and I went through her phone. I know, and I found nothing about that night. But I looked at some replies to her posts from a while and I saw this one guy liking her pics, so I checked him out and that's when everything changed. I found out she was messaging a guy she met on her friend's bachelorette party. They were messaging back and forth for a few weeks. Sending provocative messages, no nudes were sent. I asked her what happened. She swears she lost her friends when she was away and this guy helped her find them. She said her friends asked him where the best places to go were and got his number. She swears they didn't meet up with him again. But when she got back, apparently somehow they connected and starting messaging each other. The kicker is this was 9 years ago. At the time our lives were very different. I owned a business and worked 80-90 hours a week 7 days a week. I never spent time with her and didn't give her love or what she needed. She said she was lonely and going through a tough time and she made the biggest mistake of her life. She swear they never hooked up or did anything else. Our lives are very different now and we are closer than we have ever been. I just don't know how to feel about this or get over it. I took my ring back and told her it's over. My question is, how do I move forward? How can you tell us that you don't know how to feel and then tell us that you've taken your ring back and it's over? You also tell us that you're closer than ever. Something doesn't add up here, so please update me. It happened 9 years ago but you just found out. To her it's water under the bridge, but to you it happened yesterday. The hurt is new, raw, and real. I suggest you step back, evaluate your current situation, and decide your best course of action. If she has been a faithful partner since then, it may be worthwhile giving it a chance. What did she literally say that was provocative? You don't have to put your dick in someone to cheat. Most respectable people consider the act of being available on dating sites as cheating enough. Why do adults ever use Snapchat? Snapchat is the first red flag location flag. It was 9 years ago, and you have to believe that nothing happened. Have her block the number, delete the messages so the both of you can move on. If that's all you found in a decade of phone use, I believe you let it go. Sometimes, you just have to decide to have faith for the sake of your own happiness. If you absolutely have to be sure, you request access to other accounts and have someone do a full forensic search. If you do that and she's good, you never even think of mentioning it again. I, 29M, sent my girlfriend, 35F, a receipt. Okay, my girlfriend of 3 months asked me to drive to Pets Market, buy bird feed and then feed her birds on Christmas Eve because she was out of town with family. I did it. I sent her a picture of bird feed with the $17 receipt saying, here's the feed I got, W receipt. I thought she would want me to send her the receipt to offer to reimburse me because of the tables were turned. I would offer to reimburse her before she even went in the store. She blew up on me saying that it was tacky, and I'm not one of your bros that you bought a beer for. Granted, I am very financially generous, paying for a majority of our nice dinners, dates, etc. She even got in a wreck with her truck recently and I'll let her use my spare car so she can take her time and get a good car of her choice rather than rushing into anything. Long story short, I told her that I thought she would want to reimburse me on principle and that if it is a problem, we should have a serious financial conversation where we lay it all out in the open and come to a financial agreement on how we can be a team and support each other. She returned my car and broke up with me. For weeks I pleaded with her saying that I was sorry and we should talk and work this out. She never gave me a chance to have a face-to-face conversation about it and just said she no longer wants anything to do with me. Where do I go from here? What's the question exactly? Someone you've only been dating 3 months broke up with you. You're 29, surely you've gone through a breakup before? I think you dodged a bullet. Anyone who would break up over $17 isn't someone you really want to date. Who leaves town with a hungry pet without taking care of it before leaving? Who leaves town without making sure their pets are taken care of and can eat? She's irresponsible. Focus on yourself. I feel like I would be taken back if my boyfriend were to ask me, even indirectly, for $17, but never to the point of breaking up. Has she contributed financially in any way in the past 3 months? Sweets, I think she was looking for a way out weeks prior and she's now using that as an excuse to break up with you. It's a stupid excuse, but then again, if she's going to be that immature, it's best she lets you see that now. In my relationships I would have offered to pay the person back and or then made him a nice meal as a thank you. Complete with leftovers to take home. Especially several means after her using your car. If I didn't have the funds, my boyfriend did. I don't get the feeling she even thanked you. Sounds like she used you. And I'm sorry she did. A kind, generous guy is worth his weight in gold. Please don't let her ruin that for you in your next relationship. I, 25 female, want a divorce from my husband, 28 male, despite it not being his fault. Hey all, I am struggling big time here. I don't know where to turn as all my connections are very religious and immediately shut down all conversations about divorce. I have been married to my husband for almost 3 years. These years have honestly been awful. Some is his fault, but not nearly to the point I've heard in other stories where someone decided to get a divorce. He's in love with me. He tells me all the time. He doesn't really show it otherwise, but he does try to constantly remind me. We have no physical intimacy, nor honestly do I want any. He's very selfish in bed. I have a slew of mental health issues that have varying degrees of being manageable, and honestly, I have never cheated, but I fantasize about it. I will be the first to say the person who's the bigger problem here is definitely me. He has his stuff, but I never thought I'd ever sit across from someone who I committed to like this and wish it was someone else, and I am disgusted with myself for it. To make things even more complicated, we have a kid together. I hear all the time not to just stay in an unhappy marriage for the kids, but I also hear the bitterness friends who grew up in broken homes have toward the parent who gave up, especially if the reason wasn't clear. I desperately want to be a good mom to our little. I feel like our marriage is a sham. He's never asked anything about me, even when we were dating. I could tell you everything about him. He couldn't tell you a single thing about me. Why did I marry into that and have a kid with him? I have zero idea. I guess the whole, I can fix him, thing. I do believe in the sanctity of marriage, so this is absolutely tearing me up even thinking about any of this. Counseling in the past has usually been met with him going, agreeing with the counselor about what he should do in our sessions, then getting home and refusing to do any of it. My final note would be I am aware he is not responsible for my happiness. I don't really want to be with anyone else. I'd be fine with being alone over this. Is what I am saying ringing true for anyone? Do I continue down this? Do I shut this thought process down? Too long did not read. I am not in a great marriage, but I am not in a bad one either, yet I can't shake how badly I want out. Part of our job as parents is to demonstrate healthy relationships and behaviors for our kids to model. Even if you aren't fighting in front of your child, they pick up on tension and lack of affection. Is that what you want to normalize for your child? Staying together, for the kids, is rarely anything but harmful to the kids. You're 25, you got married too young and you have a lot of life in front of you. It would be a shame to stay in a bad marriage out of obligation. I'm not sure why you married to begin with, but here you are. Make better choices now. Maybe it's time to focus on your mental health with a professional and get to a better place. Then make an exit plan. Why are you so hateful toward yourself for not wanting to stay in an unhappy, unfulfilling marriage? Stop obsessing over whether he's bad enough to deserve to get divorced. His big selling point seems to be that he says, "I love you," a lot while showing no actual interest in you or your feelings. Divorce isn't a punishment, but it's a very reasonable consequence here. Sounds like it is his fault. He's selfish in bed, selfish in conversation, selfish in and out of counseling. Someone being deeply and fundamentally selfish is a great reason not to be in a relationship with them. Even if the reason was just, "I don't love him," that would be valid too, but if you're feeling like you need a justification, you've written quite a bit to explain why you wouldn't want to be with him. You're only 25 and have a dead bedroom, and he doesn't care about you or bother putting effort into improving the relationship. Why do you feel like that's not enough to leave? But I also hear the bitterness friends who grew up in broken homes have toward the parent who gave up, especially if the reason wasn't clear. Are you actually hearing it or just thinking you hear it? Or are you hearing bitterness of a different sort? My husband's parents divorced when he was a tween. He has issues with both his parents but not about their divorce. Reading all this, yes, it sounds like you should divorce. It sounds like this relationship was on rocky ground from the get-go and nothing is going to change. Get a divorce. Selfish in bed is not a good husband. You should get a divorce. My 24F boyfriend, 28M, won't stop peeing in my shower. How do I get him to stop? Throw away, because this is actually really embarrassing. I, 24F, have been spending a lot more time at my boyfriend 28M's place. The problem started with him leaving a mess in the bathroom after using it. The first time I brought this up, I explained how disgusting it is that he doesn't clean up after himself, and he apologized. It hasn't been that much of an issue anymore. Besides the general smell of pee every now and then. Most recently, he's been peeing in the shower, which I wouldn't have a problem with because ultimately, it's his shower, not mine. My issue is that he pees in my shower now, too, which is kinda gross, but whatever, I could have looked past it. But the thing is, he doesn't like pee while he showers to let the soap and water wash it away. He pees as he's done bathing and just leaves it there. I have no idea what goes through his head when he does this, and I brought it up so many times, but he doesn't seem to want to listen. It upsets me to have to clean his pee up every time he uses my shower. The other night, he did it again and I was so angry that I ended up shouting at him, which is completely out of character for me. His reasoning was, "I've been inside you. Why are you freaked out by a little pee?" To make matters worse, my bathroom is quite small, so the shower is literally next to the toilet. So close that someone with good aim could literally pee in the toilet while inside the shower. I've been contemplating if I should just stop inviting him over to show him how serious this is, but I don't want to have to blackmail him for him to take me seriously. I have no idea what to do. He's leaving it for you to clean up and he isn't going to stop. If someone shows you their true colors, believe them. Why do women put up with such gross behavior? As someone who sometimes pees in the shower, I was ready to defend this dude, but doing it after and just leaving it there is some kinda twisted fetish. That's fucking weird. Girl, come on. This man is almost 30 years old and he's leaving puddles of piss in your shower? Never mind banning him from your house, break up with him. If you wouldn't accept the behavior from a dog without correcting it, you shouldn't be accepting it from a man.